Hi Leo, welcome to November. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I get started on your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have a full moon in Taurus on the 31st, and then we start November. And then we have Mercury going direct on the 3rd, Mars going direct on the 13th, Jupiter conjunct Pluto on the 12th, and then we have a new moon in Scorpio on the 15th or the 14th, depending on where you live. So a lot of energy that has been blocked and stuck is going to start to move forward with Mercury and Mars moving direct this month. And we will see what's coming up for Leo in terms of love and relationships for the month of November 2020. So we survived October. It was a rough month, but things should be a little bit better this month, especially around the new moon in Scorpio. So let's see, what does Leo need to know about love and relationships for the month of November 2020? Oh, what's coming up? We've got the Page of Pentacles. New relationship with an earth sign. Learning new skills. Let's see. What does Leo need to know about love and relationships for November 2020? What is coming up for Leo? The Eight of Cups. The World, the Five of Swords in the past, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Justice card, the Lovers, the Page of Wands, the Tower. Major changes this month, Leo. So we start the month off with the Eight of Cups, and then it's crossed by the World. This is the present energy. The Eight of Cups is about moving away from something that was once good, but it's no longer fulfilling. So you may feel like you need to move on. You might be leaving a relationship behind or a toxic environment. Something is coming to completion. You have the World here. So this is like the end of a cycle. Something is ending and you're getting ready to move to a new level. So you might be completing something. It could be a project at work or or it could be a way of life even, is coming to completion. And with the Eight of Cups energy, I feel like you're feeling that you want to do something that has more meaning, that brings more spirituality into your life. So it could be a relationship that was once good, but it's no longer working. And you're thinking, maybe I need to move on. Maybe it's time for me to wrap this thing up and go in search of something better or something more fulfilling for me. You have the Five of Swords here and the Ace of Swords in the recent past. This is about toxic energy. This is about realizing that things are not going to change. So if you're in a situation that's toxic or you're dealing with someone's hostility, you might be feeling that you're being victimized in some way. That's not going to change. That's just that, so you have to decide, do I want to accept this person or this situation for the way it is? Can I live with this person? Can I live with this situation? Or do I need to cut my losses and move on? Those are the issues that you're going to be dealing with, or you have been. You have been existing in a toxic environment with the Five of Swords. And that's not going to change. That's just the way that either the way the person is or the way if it's a job thing, the way the situation is. That's just, you have to either live with it or leave it. Because if you're trying to change a person or a situation, you're wasting your time. It's not going to change. That's the message of the Five of Swords. The Ace of Swords, though, you recently have decided to take some action. So you may have been putting up with a lot, and now you decide I'm going to take action to move on. because this is the card of the warrior. This is a card of seeing things from a different perspective too. The aces are new beginnings. And with the swords energy, it's a new way of thinking or a new way of communicating. So you might be, maybe your anger has been, or your fighting spirit has been activated. And you're going to do something about it. Or you made that decision. The Page of Cups is coming up in the future, and the Two of Swords. So it could be a situation where you're wanting to reach out to someone and maybe share, like this is a message of love, so it could be a child, but it could also be, if it doesn't represent a child, a very sensitive child, maybe a water sign, it could represent you wanting to let someone know how you feel. Either you're wanting to reach out and let someone know how you feel about them, or someone may want to let you know how they feel. But I feel like that the two of you, there's like a standoff here with the Two of Swords. You're on the fence. So you might be waiting to get maybe you're waiting for them to make a move and they're waiting for you to make a move. Like neither person wants to go out on the limb and reach out to the other person. So you're just deciding not to decide right now. But I think around the full moon, certain things may come to light that will help you make that decision to get off the fence, because you can't balance this. You can't stay in this state of stagnation for long. Justice is here, so there could be some type of karma that you're dealing with, a karmic situation, maybe something that involves a legal settlement or something like that, because the Justice in the mundane sense, it represents a decision that needs to be made, like usually like a legal situation or a decision where you're waiting for the answer. You're waiting for someone, or it could be a body, like a judge or a group of people that has to make a decision. So especially if you're looking for a job, it could be, am I going to get news that I got the job? Or if you're looking for, financial support, will a loan come in? If it's the ending of a relationship, it could be some kind of legal situation that needs to be resolved and you're waiting for a settlement or you're waiting for a resolution. And you're kind of worried about it. You're hoping that the resolution will be a fair one. And you're kind of like, it's kind of like you're just hanging in midair waiting for this thing to be resolved. The other meaning of the Justice card is karma. So it's like you're experiencing the results of actions that you've taken in the past. So whatever you put out there comes back to you. And, it's the energy. It has nothing to do with punishment or reward. It just has to do with, action and reaction. So you're dealing with some karmic issues this month. And you might be wrapping it up. You might be finishing up some kind of karmic energy. Because with the World here, I feel like there's a resolution. There's something that gets resolved. Something completes. And then you're free to move on. In your environment, you have the Lovers here. So this is where you're trying to make a decision about, you might be trying to choose between two paths. So if there are two people involved, do I choose this person or that person? Some of you might be ending one relationship, starting a new relationship with someone else. Or it could even just be a question of, do I stay or do I go? Do I stay and work this out, or do I choose to leave? It doesn't always have to be, a third party situation. But you are going to be making a decision about, with the Lovers, it's definitely a choice. And the situation is very serious decision, because once you make that choice and you take that path, you can't go back and undo it. It's like it's done. So if you decide to leave a relationship, you're not going to be able to go back to that person. If you decide to leave a job, or if you're choosing between two paths, once you take this path, the other path goes away. So you have to really do some serious thinking this month and decide, what is it that I really want? Is this person? And it could even be that you might even make a decision on whether to commit or not in a relationship. How important is this person to me? Can I live with or without this person? You have the Page of Wands here, so news is going to be coming in, maybe even unexpectedly. And it may even shock you because you have the Tower here. The Tower is, messages coming in. And it represents an awakening or seeing the truth about something. So you might suddenly, realize if you've been existing in a situation that's been unbearable or intolerable or unfair in any way, where you feel you've been victimized, the Tower could represent release from that. Anything that's false in your life will crumble, but only so that you can be rebuilding it in a better way. So if something ends, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It means that you're meant to go on a different path, that you've been spending too much energy on the wrong path. So the Tower never takes away what we need. It takes away whatever has been holding us back from growth. Whatever, like sometimes we hold on to things no matter how bad they are because we're just afraid of the choices involved, And sometimes the universe is like, no, you have to grow. And so we're going to take this away from you because we're forcing you. It's like kicking the bird out of the nest. You have to fly. So there are going to be some major changes, major decisions to be made and major changes this month. But I didn't do the bottom card. Let's see. Six of Swords. Okay. You're moving on. It's time to move on. Whatever you've been spending a lot of time with, if it's toxic, if you're not growing, if you feel oppressed, it's time to move on. It's time to create a new path. It's time to move to a new level. So the good thing about the Six of Swords is you're moving away from difficulty. You're moving toward greater harmony. You could have a rival in a relationship because the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups together can sometimes mean some type of rivalry. So maybe you have a choice between two people too. Some of you might be choosing between two people. Some of you might be interested in someone, but there's a rival. There's like competition. And some of you may just feel like you want to communicate. You want to reach out to someone, but you're kind of waiting for them to give you a sign that they're interested. And I think that certain truths are going to be revealed, especially around this full moon in Taurus, because it's connected with Uranus. Uranus it's the planet of surprise. And full moons usually are when things come out, things are seen. So anything that's been hidden becomes revealed, and it could be shocking because of the Uranus aspect. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So for you, Leo, it's in your 10th house, this full moon, and it also affects your 4th house. So home and family and career. 10th house, the moon conjunct Uranus can be surprising developments in your life path, your career path. Something becomes public. The 10th house represents your public life. So if you've been keeping a relationship secret, it may become public now. There could be kind of work-life balance issues. You might, be doing really well at work and having to balance your work life with home and family. Mercury is in the 3rd house of communication, and that also represents relatives, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. It's squaring Saturn in your 6th house. So maybe you've been having some conflict with there could be contracts that are needing to be signed, and you've been feeling blocked from moving forward with any kind of communications or contracts, because the 3rd house represents communication, contracts, Mercury. And Mercury there, when it's retrograde, it's not really a good time to sign on the dotted line. So you may want to wait. If you have any kind of legal document to sign or contract, don't wait till Mercury goes direct this month before you sign on the dotted line. Otherwise, really check things there. Check all the fine print, because there could be some difficult negotiations, is what I would say, between what authority figures want and what in your thinking. Your thinking may not jive with the authority, or you may feel blocked by people in power, and you have to negotiate. So it represents difficult negotiation, and you may feel kind of pessimistic, like, am I ever going to reach an agreement with these people? Am I ever going to be able to resolve this? Venus now has moved into Libra, so that should help. Venus will bring more harmony, diplomacy, she creates win-win situations. So, and it also, she represents money and love. So there could be that if you've been struggling in some type of communication project or some type of negotiation, things are going to start to get better, but you have to communicate. You have to speak up. Like, you can't expect things to just resolve themselves on their own. You have to communicate your needs. So if you feel like someone's being a little too harsh or not being fair, you need to talk to them, and you could come to some type of resolution that's favorable to both sides, some fair. But you're thinking negatively, because when Mercury squares Saturn, we have the tendency to be pessimistic. So you don't want to be pessimistic. You want to think positively. Yes, I can work this out. Yes, we can come to a fair agreement. Venus is in your 3rd house, and it's opposing Chiron in the 9th. So you may feel a little insecure. You have like some wound that has to do with higher education, knowledge. Maybe you feel like you don't have the credentials or something like that. You're feeling a little bit insecure about what you need to learn or what you need to teach. Then again, the 9th house could also mean you may have a wound around education. Like, maybe you didn't finish your degree or something and you're feeling, inadequate because of it. So to heal that wound, just go and get the knowledge. Remember that Page of Pentacles that came up earlier when I was shuffling? If you're feeling insecure about your credentials or your knowledge or your studies, go and get the training that you need so you can feel more confident. What else? Jupiter is going to... Okay, so then we have the new moon. Well, Mercury goes direct in the 3rd house, so that should clear up some miscommunications, and it should move contracts forward. If things have been blocked and you've had to renegotiate or redo certain agreements, things are going to start to straighten out now with Mercury moving forward. Then you have Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn in your 6th house, and they are also going to come together. So if there's some issue around money or financial support, there could be opportunities that are going to start to develop. Jupiter and Pluto together, you could have been dealing with powerful people that wield power, people that have a lot of money, and they can be difficult. They can be manipulative. They can be, they can be demanding, and you've had to kind of really walk on eggshells around them. When Jupiter and Pluto come together, though, that's a wealth-building aspect. So finally, you might find out that you're getting the money that was promised you. You're getting the financial support. There could be some opportunities opening up in a career situation, even in a health situation, because the 6th house rules health. So if you've been stressed out about health, things should start to improve there too. Mars is going to go direct November 13th. And you have Mars in the 9th house. So anything that has to do with higher education, travel, reaching out to people in a global, teaching, learning, you're gonna have more energy to put towards that. If you're dealing with anything that involves higher education, if you're dealing with any kind of legal issue, 9th house also rules legal issues. Those should start to move forward as well. Then we have the new moon in Scorpio on the 15th. And that is falling in your 4th house. So there could be a new beginning around the home. Maybe you have a new place to live, or you're having new conditions around the home. This new moon is sextile Jupiter and Pluto. So things that are happening at work are going to favorably affect how you're feeling at home. If you're getting some type of... Maybe you're feeling better. Maybe as the work stress lessens, it's going to affect your health, and it's going to affect your relationships at home in a positive way. Now, Mercury's in the 4th house at this new moon. It has moved from Libra. It'll move into Scorpio by this new moon. And it's going to oppose Uranus in the 10th house. So there could be some unexpected communication that comes up. Maybe there's something in the house that needs to be taken care of. And or there could be some career development that affects your home life in some way. Because when Mercury and Uranus come together, it's unexpected. Uranus always represents, things that come out of left field. So it could be some type of communication issue or some type of technical issue, because Mercury and Uranus are both involved with technology, websites, electricity. Appliances could go haywire, you know, in the home, and you have to fix it. And Venus is in the 3rd house, so you're getting along better with relatives, brothers, sisters, and aunts, uncles. But there could also be some power struggles over either a health issue or a work issue. So you're going to want to just avoid manipulation. Avoid, because there's going to be intense feelings. Don't try to manipulate anyone, especially in your family. And with Pluto going through the 6th house, you may have to really make some changes in your health habits. You know, take things seriously and change your lifestyle, change your eating, your exercise habits, whatever. Because sometimes, you know, if you're letting stress, if you're overworked and you're letting stress get to you, it can affect your health. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough rest, that you're eating properly, that you're getting exercise, that you're not carrying too heavy of a burden during this time. But I feel like, you know, there are going to be some major changes, and I think that towards the end of the month, things are going to feel a lot lighter and not so heavy. And you may wind up making changes that benefit you, that you're going to feel are best for you in the long run. So you might be feeling better at the end of the month than at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month is more like a revelation. And, you know, based on what you learn, certain things may end, but then you're going to be moving on to something better. And then you have this new moon, which can bring a powerful time for new beginnings, especially in the house, in your home and family life. So you have an opportunity to create this new energy, to have this, you know, getting rid of like this toxic energy, moving away from the toxic energy, and creating a better place. Like maybe if you move into a new house, it has, you know, you're more at peace, you're not fighting anymore, or you're coming to some type of an agreement with the people that you share your home with, so that things are more peaceful. But I feel like you're going to feel like you're in a better place by the end of the month. And especially as everything moves into Sagittarius energy, and it'll be trining Leo. By December, I think you're going to be in a better place. So you're going to be moving away from difficulty toward greater harmony. So I hope this reading was a help to you. Don't give up the fight. You know, if something is toxic and it's not working, let it go. Roll with the changes. Don't hold on to something that's just not working. And move on to something that really fulfills you, that brings you joy, that brings you peace, that makes you feel loved and valued. And if you're thinking about reaching out to someone, don't stay on the fence too long. Make that initial contact, reach out. So, okay, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the link, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. If you'd like a private reading where we deal with your specific issues, click on the link in the description box and it'll take you to my website. And in the meantime, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting this channel. I love reading your comments, and I hope that you're enjoying these readings. And if you're new, welcome. I'm glad to have you aboard. And I'm glad to work with all of you guys. And have a wonderful November, and I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.